that scared you? Well, that, my friend, is nothing compared to watching the movie Possession. I was about to say Possession. You're waiting for like the smile or something, like in normal horror movies, and there is no smile. All of a sudden, she just moves, and you're like, well, it truly did show itself to be one of the top, I mean, if not the top, 2026 film of the year. I'm talking word of mouth alone. This movie could win unimaginable amounts of awards. Truly, it's one of those movies where you had to have to take on it because of how disturbing as well as awkward it made me feel. And I'm sure a lot of people have felt sort of the same way. A lot of talk on Twitter lately, especially online. I'm barely even on Twitter. I've been seeing a lot of talk online about who's the perpetrator, who's the victim in the story, and whether or not Bear is actually to blame. And honestly, if you think otherwise, like unless you're watching it from another dimension, in some other universe where Bear is not committing all the things that he's doing in the movie, clearly we all know that Bear is not, at least not the victim, okay? In a sense where starting off in the movie, it doesn't really seem clear. For instance, we've all seen the horror movies where it's like a crush, and then that crush becomes obsessed with you, and so on and so forth. In the beginning of the movie, we didn't really dive deep. The scenario is already put, the setting is put to where it's this guy that has a crush on their coworker that wishes their coworker loves them. And some people are alluding that Nikki might have had similar feelings because in the beginning of the movie, she sort of, before going into her house, she's like, do you have feelings for me? And during a time where Bear is supposed to confess and obviously couldn't do it, he proceeds to say no. And then people are alluding, oh, maybe that face expression that she made meant that she was wishing or hoping, but Bear was the one who like kind of destroyed like future potentials of them ever even being together or so on. I honestly don't think it's that case. A lot of girls know but don't know. Like there's this vibe from people that essentially is like, are they having a crush on me? I feel like it's that moment. I feel like that was what happened during that scene. Whether Bear actually did like her friend Sarah or not, and was like, wait, what if he likes me and that's why he's not getting with Sarah? And I kind of thought of that too. But apparently, some people think that it's actually her alluding that maybe she want him to confess and then try to make a move or so on. And really did think that Sarah would probably be a better fit since he probably didn't like her. And honestly, that also might be a good scenario to put on. But in the end of the day, that wouldn't really change much of Bear's actions that he does throughout the movie constantly. Bear, truly for me personally, I feel like Bear is the one that's obsessed. Like the core of the movie is around her becoming obsessed with him, right? And how that obsession is truly demonic and becomes so outrageously out of this world, causing her to do crimes, causing her to act out of pocket, causing her to be weird and have a very weird persona towards him and his life and changes a lot of things, right? But Bear is obsessed with Nikki, and it shows throughout the movie. Like from the beginning of the movie all the way to the end, you see Bear do things, and me, I know I'm not the only one that was in the cinema the whole time being like, get out, run, leave. Why are you still there? Why are you still committing to these things? Like, it doesn't take until the end of the movie to realize that, oh, this is wrong. This is a little bit toxic. Maybe I should, no, bro. Like, this been like that from the beginning. Your friends have alluded that to you. That, hey, it feels like you're using her. You just pursue to ignore that and use your own personal desires and seek that and validation, and that's why you pursue ignoring all the red flags. And I feel like that's a very scary notion to be having. It feels really realistic and it could be done in a real life scenario. Into a relationship where it's really toxic. And not only is it that because Bear doesn't see himself like he's doing anything bad to that person. Obviously, he loves her and he wishes that that is obviously a very good thing and he pursues that. It's not really a bad thing, but he doesn't realize he's hurting that person in the name of love. It really does show how frustrated he is when people tell him, "Oh, it seems like you're using her. Oh, you actually committed a crime. She unwillingly or unknowingly did such and such." It's like he's constantly telling himself, "No, no, no, I didn't do that. You're scaring me." These are all words he tries to say to make himself feel better, but in reality, he knows very well what he's done, what he's doing at the same time. You kind of see not only in the beginning does he ignore the fact that all of a sudden this girl becomes obsessed with him and is overly affectionate towards him, but midway through, you see him sit back and act like this is normal. Like he could live his entire life like this. Like if she didn't go haywire, right? And completely out of pocket, embarrassing him in public and doing all these crazy things that are inhumane, he would have actually lived life normally. He actually goes and pursues to find the person or the wish thing, calls them and asks them how to like fix it. I'd like to pause the video right here and let's take a step back, okay? In regards to a little controversy that's going around towards Alex Myers. Now, as I mentioned earlier, unfortunately, a lot of people do see themselves through Bear, and whether it's through just normal characteristics of like social anxiety, awkwardness, or just like the shyness of his character. And honestly, I don't blame them, but it is really important to see that you shouldn't be acting the same way that Bear is, as well as misogynistic, honestly. So, that's my take on Myers' whole situation, as well as the fact that I don't even watch his videos, let's be real. And this is not the first time I've seen like a couple clips of his where he approaches certain scenarios with his own like personal perspective. And you kind of see it in I saw clips of his video where he kept on saying like just like me and comparing himself to Bear. So yeah, but with that, back to the video. Not get rid of the dream of the wish, I mean. Not to get rid of the wish, but how to fix it, make her at least like him, but not as crazy as she is. It's the first thing he does. That's before he actually goes back and wants to change anything, right? And as well, again, later when he doesn't want to address the fact that she is not normal, right? There's a problem. He needs to solve it. Instead, he acts as if it never happened, or as if like, hey, whatever, it's not that big of a deal, and tries to carry on or move on, basically, in the same time, not fully address the previous problem, meaning, which is Nikki's obsession. Carries on with Sara. Poor Sara, literally put into the scenario for absolutely no reason. Like this truly does show like the monogamy in this movie is just actually out of control. And you see Bear go and pursue Sara. And then in the same time where it's like poor Sara has been always there for him from the beginning. And now when all the options are closed and he's at his lowest and realized, oh, maybe the thing I want isn't actually what I need it for. Oh, she's actually a nice person. He puts poor Sara in a scenario where he knows there's a crazy, wicked person that literally fed him his own dead cat, okay, crawls around the house, right, that acts like an actual alien of a lizard being around, and he thinks he could just live a double life. Was that what he was imagining to do. Like, I don't really understand the part where he involved Sarah in this to begin with, but it sort of backfired on him because obviously the person that's crazy about you is going to be stalking you and knowing all your whereabouts. And that's exactly what happened when Nikki found out that Sarah was with him. I think the scene was like a confession scene or something. And when I tell you, I'm not the only person that was deeply disturbed by the amount of times that she slammed that girl's head on that brick. The amount of times, and it wouldn't stop. Like when I tell you, it was just like truly demonic. That's one of the 7 or 5 scenarios in this movie where it was so out of pocket that I was like, I've never seen this. As a horror movie fanatic, I have never seen this type of horror movie. Like horror itself, the awkwardness of drawing like Sarah's tattoos on her body truly shows how much she knows that, well, the entity, whatever entity is possessing Nikki, that's supposed to be obsessed with him, knows that he is losing, like, or he doesn't love her as much. And she actually even says it several times where it's like, you don't love me, why don't you? And then tries to take whatever it is that he is also in the liking of and tries to reflect that on himself. And I've seen a lot of people in the reactionary videos and stuff where they said, oh, like the way she walks, she's mimicking the cat. That's why she awkwardly walks around. And I'm like, please don't. Do not implement cats into this, please. The poor cat not only died and was dug out like twice, okay? Not only got eaten by his own owner, but yet now you guys are trying to make it seem like the cat. I was it. Someone said like the cat was the possessed thing that took over Nikki. I was like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. I am a cat lover. Do not say that ever. Okay, now I'm gonna start looking at every cat like no, please. But some people actually did say like that would make sense if she acted like the cat, and that way to make him feel like he loved her as much as he loved that cat, which makes sense because she does the same thing with Sarah, where she acts like Sarah, and she, what do you call it, draws, like physically draws the tattoos, Sarah's tattoos on her. And it's not till it's too late, let's just say it's too late, that Nikki realizes that he needs to stop this and find an end to it. And at that point I'm like, you know how to solve this, like why are you even pursuing? He goes, gets the last wish thing or whatever, and goes to his friend. Now, the friend plays a very interesting role in this movie because not only is his friend, like Bear, a jackass, right? But also kind of ex- not only perpetrates the truth of like the tale of narcissism, where it's he tells him right at that very time, like, hey, like I was in a relationship with Nikki and I think that she is trying to get revenge on you. And Bear's like, I could care less. Cool. The girl that's obsessed with me that killed 2 people is, you had a relationship? Okay, I could care less right now. I'm trying to solve whatever is going on. And instead of listening to him, the friend's like, okay, like, what do you want me to do? Like, and he's like, make a wish that these wishes come true. First thing that comes in the friend's mind, I want $1 million. Or is it 1 billion? I don't know how much. But I want $1 billion is what he says. How could you not? How could you blame him? Like I feel like if I was in his place, right? Because clearly he's not a true friend. And I don't know why Nikki would think that I don't know why Bear would think that he would help him in any such way. But if I was in his place, my friend was like, make a wish. It comes true. I want $1 million. Why, you ask? Because we're never friends. Duh. And that's exactly what his friends explain. His friendship doesn't really mean anything at all. So, fair enough. But in the end, the ending itself, I really love the concept of her living. I love that they let her continue on the journey, because now it's like, wait, if a part two happens, I really want to see a part two. What entity took over her, you know? And what is she gonna do with $1 million? She has two dead bodies in her house. Like, how is she gonna cover that? And it's like,
I guess we'll never know.
you will never know. You will never know. And that's where I say props, all props to the producer, Carrie Booker. Carrie Booker is a YouTuber, a and he did a phenomenal job at this movie. Like, when I tell you it is my top tier horror movies of all time, in that list, check. Because I'm never gonna watch it again. One thing. Second thing, I do not advise people to watch it. I probably said it in the beginning, where I'm like, if you want to watch this movie, gotta watch it, and then don't. If you haven't watched it, matter of fact, don't watch it. Think of it based off of whatever you saw online, okay? And pursue it by that, and try to make up whatever scenario you would like in your head, but don't watch it. It really is traumatizing. It left me, like, when I tell you, from my personal perspective, half of the time when the scary scenes would happen, like, I know it's gonna happen. Like the Sarah scene, I knew Sarah was gonna get hit, right? I knew that Nikki was gonna come out of nowhere, hitting with a brick for like 30 times. What? What? Okay, what else? There's like several other things where it's like, and there's like the scene where you hear her talking, and you just see the wall and you can't see her, and you're like, you're trying so badly to see her, and you're waiting for like the smile or something, like in normal horror movies, and there is no smile. All of a sudden, she just moves, and you're like, oh my god. And it's like, it really is real. Like, in real time, I felt like, what the heck? Like, I couldn't let myself see that. I was like, ah. I covered my eyes. Also, like, halfway through, I was trying to go to the restroom, and like one step in, I saw how quiet the hallway was and how quiet the restroom was, and I was like, yeah, I'm good. I went back. Real horror enthusiasts know when there's a trap, and I felt like this is a trap at 10 p.m. Because what other time are you gonna watch a horror movie, right? At 10 p.m. in a theater, it shouldn't be this quiet. And mind you, the theater was booked, so I was like, why is the hallway why is there not a single being in the hallway? And why is there not a single being in the bathroom? Yeah, I am leaving. I went back to my seat and continued watching the movie. Like, it was so triggering that I ended up not being able to drive home. Like, I had to stay with my cousins that day, like sleepover. It's kind of embarrassing, but it's
Embarrassing.
like, honestly, that's how you know he did a good job. That's how he ate. When the fans are so traumatized that they can't walk home at night. And mind you, what made it crazier for me was that I think the movie's like age appropriate, and there was like a couple that were trying to get in, and they were like, oh, like, can you try to like get us in, be our guardians or something? I was like, yeah, absolutely, no problem. Like, but apparently they tried to sneak in like beforehand, and they couldn't, so I was like, it's not much I could do. I watched that movie. I walked out. I was like, are you right in the mind? You taking your girl to this movie? Are you crazy? Like, this movie literally, if proven anything, that I should not trust anyone, especially not a lover. I'm good. I'm good if I never find love. Like, it's totally fine, you know. And yeah, I would have, I don't know, I would have actually been traumatized if I came there with a significant other or something. So it was, I don't know what y'all couples be doing going to these horror movies. Like, yeah, take her to anything else. Don't take her to a obsession horror movie. Like, you're out of your mind for that. But yeah, I think that was interesting. But overall, I hope you like this video. I will not promise you that I will post more. The thing is, please subscribe, because the more you subscribe, the faster I get prioritized, the more videos you'll see, the more I'll eat up these videos. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just learning. This is a path of evolvement. I'm genuinely just doing this for yapping. And it's kind of like therapeutic in a way, but in the same time, I don't know. It just lets me get whatever is off of my soldier out there. So, anyway, bye. Hope you have a good day.